When you mention the country, China, to anyone it always elicits a response: ancient civilization, remarkable history, massive population, exquisite art, and rising superpower. There is no middle ground. China is the sleeping dragon come to life. Today, China is the world's second largest economy after the United States, but is considered to be an emerging economy because of its rapid growth and industrialization. China has become a world trendsetter in many fields. China has been the world's #1 manufacturer since 2010, after overtaking the US, which had been #1 for the previous 100 years. China has also been #2 in high-tech manufacturing since 2012, according to US National Science Foundation. China is the second largest retail market in the world, next to the United States. China leads the world in e-commerce, accounting for 40% of the global market share in 2016 and more than 50% of the global market share in 2019. China is the world's leader in electric vehicles, manufacturing, and buying half of all the plug-in electric cars, BEV and PHEV, in the world in 2018. China is also the leading producer of batteries for electric vehicles as well as several key raw materials for batteries. Experts agree that without big reductions in China's emissions, the world cannot win the fight against climate change. In 2020, China's President Xi Jinping said his country would aim for its emissions to reach their highest point before 2030 and for carbon neutrality before 2060. His statement has now been confirmed as China's official position ahead of the 26 Colombian pesos Global Climate Summit in Glasgow. But China has not said exactly how these goals will be achieved. But China is switching to green energy. China ranks 7th in the world for its percentage of car sales that are electric, but given its huge size, China makes and buys more electric cars than any other country by a considerable margin. Currently, about 1 in 20 cars bought in China is electric-powered. By 2035, Chinese officials and car industry representatives are predicting that almost all new vehicles sold in China will be fully electric-powered or hybrid. Working out by how much the shift to electric vehicles reduces emissions is not straightforward, particularly when taking into account manufacturing and charging sources. But studies suggest that emissions over the lifetimes of electric vehicles are typically below those of petrol and diesel equivalents. This matters because transport is responsible for around a quarter of carbon emissions from fuel combustion, with road vehicles being the largest emitters. China will also by 2025 be producing batteries with double the capacity of those produced by the rest of the world combined. Observers say that will enable the storage and release of energy from renewable sources on a previously impossible scale. Recently, China imposed a mandate on automakers requiring that electric vehicles make up 40% of all sales by 2030. This move will expand the production of EV and EV batteries enough to bring down the worldwide cost of both. The market share of EV will expand as mandated, but many models will remain more expensive than their gasoline-powered counterparts. Between 2021 and 2030, the transition cost to China's society could equal 0.1% of the nation's growing gross domestic product every year. In a follow-on study, the researchers are finding that the benefits of the mandated move to EV for air pollution, human health, climate change, and national security may be large enough to offset the cost. From 2035, the only new cars for sale in China will be new energy. Time is running out for fossil-fueled cars. China is the latest country to outline plans to get them off the road, joining a growing list of countries that have announced similar plans. By 2035, all new vehicles sold in China must be powered by new energy, the Chinese authorities have said. Half of them must be electric, fuel cell, or plug-in hybrid, the remaining 50%, hybrid vehicles. There have been subsidies on offer to encourage Chinese motorists to buy new energy cars since 2009, and by last year they accounted for around 5% of all new car sales. Globally, approximately half of all electric and other new energy cars were sold in China. So what are going to happen with the million of fossil fuel car? China will export used, reconditioned, refurbished cars from supercars to SUV, MPV. Big corporate companies are gathering momentum to export these vehicles. The concept of exporting used Chinese-made vehicles were made public in April 2019 when the Chinese Ministry of Commerce, the Ministry of Public Security, and the General Administration of Customs jointly issued a public notice on supporting the export of used cars in conditionally mature areas. These are responsible for certifying the export of used cars from China. On May 6, 2019, it was reported that the Chinese Ministry of Commerce officially announced the approval of legally exporting used Chinese vehicles in an effort to promote trade in the automotive market. MOVCOM has mentioned that they'll work in identifying companies that can handle vehicle exports and for testing standards to ensure that the used cars are sold safely. In a MOVCOM press conference on May 9, 2019, it was mentioned that it is working with officials from the General Administration of Customs and the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology to administer export licensing for vehicles shipped out of China. The key emerging markets for these used cars are in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, where budget vehicles are in demand. Analysts say China has an estimated fleet of more than 300 million privately registered vehicles, the largest in the world. It now wants to create an export market for its second-hand vehicles. One of its potential markets is Africa, where second-hand cars are very much in demand, because they're much cheaper than brand new vehicles. As always, hit the like button, it really helped this channel grow and spread this video, and remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell, so you'll be notified when I upload new video, and comment down below any question or any request that you have.